This is Jevin from CALS Career Services, and I'm talking today with Jenna Rogalinski, a CALS alum and currently a technical sales representative at ibidi. So, Jenna, thank you so much for chatting with me today. I'm really excited to learn about your journey from college to where you are now, and just wanted to say thanks for being here.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me, Jevin.
So we've got six questions that I'm really excited to ask you, and they're going to kind of start from UW and then go to where you are now. So they're a bit chronological. Um,
hmm
so the first one I want to start with is what did you study at UW and what was your experience like?
Yeah. So specifically in CALS, I studied biochemistry. So I have a bachelor's in biochemistry. I also did study life science communications, and I had a certificate. It's a very long name, the Integrated Studies of Science, Engineering, and Society. So that was the certificate that I went with. It really complemented well if anyone's considering it. And I was a student there from 2018 to 2022. So, of course, I had the beauty of COVID right in the beginning or right in the middle of my college career, but still really enjoyed it, had a great time there. Besides academics, I was also involved with club sports. So, I had a really nice time getting involved with that. I was on the dance elite team all 4 years, held leadership positions and things like that. So, a lot of experience there too.
Fantastic. That sounds like a really
Yeah.
rich and you know, broad experience that you had here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and of course, I have to mention, I also did the biochemistry scholars program. So I think that is a really good program if you are a freshman or a sophomore just getting into your biochemistry degree. The way that they pair you up with a research lab is super helpful, especially for that biology course that you have to take down the road. But I found getting a foot in the door early with the biochemistry scholars program was really great.
That's awesome. That sounds like a really good opportunity that people should take advantage of.
Yes, yes, completely.
Very cool. So next, can you tell a little bit about how did your path develop from graduation into your current role?
Yeah. So this is where my story sort of it doesn't take your standard path. So I started 2018, 2019, all was cool and normal. Then 2020 hit, of course, COVID. And then right as things were starting to get normal again, I was diagnosed with leiomyosarcoma, which is a rare form of cancer in the January of my senior year. So I mentioned that specifically because I think it really shaped my career decisions and the paths that I ended up going. And I think if anyone else listening to this finds that life impacts the direction they go, I think that's completely normal and it's perfect to listen to your outside world. And just because you had one direction in mind when you started college, it's okay to divert and change depending on what goes on in the rest of your life. So, with that being said, there are some other crazy coincidences. So, my junior year into my senior year, so that summer, I was a sales intern at ibidi, and that's where I got my experience with the company. I really enjoyed the company. I enjoyed the people I worked with. I enjoyed what we were selling and the technical support that we provided. And the same day that I was offered my technical sales position, I was diagnosed with cancer in the exact same day. So I knew from the get-go after my company told me, we can hold your position. That is what they said. No questions asked. They said, you focus on you. We will hold this position for when you're ready for it. And they stayed true to their word. I had 11 months of treatment. And once I was ready in December, they took me on. So I was still able to graduate in May, which was amazing. Shout out to my biochem professors. Oh, actually, PChem professors. They were very flexible with me. So I was still able to graduate in May of 2022. I took a few months off, just finishing up my treatment, and then I started up in December. So that's really what took me to ibidi. And I have been there ever since. So I'm just about to hit my 3 years in my position, which is really exciting. And honestly, I still enjoy it. If anything, I enjoy it more now that I'm more comfortable with my position and I have a really good understanding of the technical support that I provide, it's really exciting to become so comfortable in it because it is a shift going from school into a job and they can only teach you so much in your classes. It's the base of what you have, but then you have to learn so much on the site too. So I'm finally in a point where I'm really comfortable where I am, and I feel like I can provide all of the technical expertise that's needed for a position that I hold.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And I think that's really inspiring. And then, too, that you found a company that was so accommodating. And
Yes.
that seems like it really speaks to the integrity of the company and that it's an amazing place to work for.
Yeah, absolutely. That's another great word of advice is when you're looking for a job, they're looking for you as much as you're looking for them. So you have to vet and find the company culture that works for you too. And I'm very lucky, and I remember that every day, how lucky I am to have a company that is so understanding.
That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Okay, I've got another question for you.
Yeah.
So, I'm really curious what steps you took to secure your first position after UW.
Yeah. That that is a good question. And thinking back on it, I feel like I almost did a little bit of everything. And of course, everyone is going to be different for what sets you up for the most success. But if you are even slightly considering going into industry, I really recommend the career fairs. I'm such a huge advocate for the career fairs. I went every single year, even as a freshman when I knew no one really wanted to take me necessarily. Like a lot of internship positions are for people with a little bit more experience, but still, I think it exposes you to the types of conversations that you're going to be having with these employers. And the employers on the other side of the table are people too. Like they just want to talk to you, they want to teach you. Half the people that are in Madison are graduates from UW. So we're all alum, and it's such a good place to learn. So I really recommend going to the career fairs if you can. And I I mean, even saying that, like my sophomore year, I had gone and I didn't really have the highest expectations, thinking, oh, I'm a sophomore. They're probably looking for juniors or seniors. But I was able to secure an internship with Covance, which is now LabCorp. So there are really good large biotech companies and life science companies in the Madison area. And it's good to tap into that because they are looking for young talent. And that doesn't necessarily mean juniors or seniors. That can mean freshmen and sophomores or freshmen and sophomores, I should say. So I'm a big fan of the career fair. On the research side, I'm this kind of covers, I don't know. I go back and forth about this. I wish I had more research experience, which might sound a little weird because I am now in industry, but I think especially if you aren't planning to move forward with a graduate school or a medical school or dental school or anything like that afterwards, you should take this opportunity while you're at UW to get your research experience in because this is the best time to get it. And you can use that research experience for years and years and years on end. And I think it sort of adds a layer of like street cred when you're selling things because you're like, oh, yeah, I have been in your position. I have been in the lab. So, of course, I'm thinking sales. So I'm thinking selling things, but this could also apply to marketing or business development or anything else in the biological industry, things like that. I think I covered it all on
Absolutely. I
that
think
one.
that's great
Yeah.
advice. And I love your insight on career fairs. And I would say a lot of people are nervous about career fairs. They're very
Mm.
intimidating. It can feel uncomfortable or scary to go to one of those large career fairs with hundreds of employers. Um, if I can ask, what advice would you have for people going to career fairs that might lead to an internship or an opportunity?
Yeah. So I feel like I'm an interesting person to ask this question because I've been on both sides. So for the past 3 years, I've also been going to the career fair and being the person behind the table talking to you. So I think I two pieces of advice. My first one is the person in front of you is still just a person. So approach it like you would a conversation. Ask them a question, make eye contact. It seems so simple, but just engaging in a conversation like you would a friend or another classmate, it actually goes a long way to just be the one to take that first step and ask that first question, even if it is, what positions are you advertising for today? Or can you tell me a little bit more about your company? And then my other piece of advice is that I guess these are on two different realms. So one is the people across from you are just people. So be comfortable, be casual. But still, there's this layer of professionalism that I think is good for the career fair. So you get to practice this professional side of you that you don't necessarily tap into before the career fairs. So it's okay to practice that. If anything, it's your time to like try on the good slacks and dress to impress if that's what gets you in the mood. But it to practice what it means to shake someone's hand, things like that. Like it seems kind of cheesy and it seems like something that should come natural, but it doesn't always come natural. So it's good to practice being professional and talking to other professionals.
That's a great insight, and I really appreciate your
Yeah.
you saying that. And I agree that that can feel uncomfortable, but something that
Yeah.
can be learned and even if it feels unnatural, something that you can pick up and maybe turn on that switch when you need to. And
Yeah. And that's your
yeah,
time to practice.
right,
That's the biggest thing. Career fair is time to practice.
absolutely. So, switching more to your current role, can you tell us a
Mhm.
bit more about what are the key responsibilities and highlights of what you're doing now at ibidi?
Yeah. So with my title, technical sales representative, it's the sales and the technical support, they definitely overlap. But at the same time, I wouldn't be able to do the job that I have without the biochemistry background. So it's really strong or the the technical support is really heavy in the position that I hold. So I support 9 states in the US. I support the South Southeast, and any sales purchases application support, anything that comes from any customer in that area goes to me. And I am the one to speak directly with the researchers, whether that be in academia or an industry customer. And I can either direct them to the right product, or it could be as simple as generating a quote. So there is a little bit of both. And then that's most of my day-to-day work. On top of that, I also travel around 25%. I shouldn't even say around. I actually know it's exactly 25% because I calculated out the days for 2025. So with supporting such a large territory, I do try and get in front of the customer, and especially if I'm working with some larger accounts or selling larger pieces of equipment, having that on-site support is really important too. So I get I get to get in the lab sometimes. Sometimes I get a tour or two.
That sounds really great and a fun way to like really stay hands-on with the science that
Mhm.
you're having a direct impact in.
Yeah. Yes, that is the most fun. So I'm not necessarily in research anymore, but instead I get to just touch and go with everyone else's projects and learn so much along the way. So much along.
That's amazing. And so, one thing that, just a question I love to ask is, what do you wish you had known before you started this job?
Yeah, I think about that question a lot, and sometimes I think there isn't the perfect answer to that question, but the one thing that I wish I would have known was the value of in-lab research experience, even if you aren't going to stay in the lab or you aren't going to pursue a medical degree of whatever realm that is. So I always thought the coursework would be enough, but honestly, the laboratory experience is exactly what people are looking for. And people, I just mean employers, any biotech pharma company, they're looking to see that you had that hands-on experience yourself because no amount of Google searching or book studying can prepare you for what actual hands-on lab work is. So I think if I wish I could tell younger me that I should put a little bit more value in my time there, which I give myself a little bit of credit because it was in the middle of COVID, so undergraduates did get kicked out of the lab for a majority of my time. But still, if I was able to push through and like show up in the lab a little bit more, I would have been happy with that.
Thank you for sharing. That's really good insight.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's next for you? What's next for Jenna? What do you see as your next steps after this current role you're in now?
Yes. Yeah, another great question. Right now, I think I mentioned this earlier, so I'm really meeting this groove now that I've been in this position. It sounds a little daunting to say it takes a year or two to really find your groove in your position, but it's the truth and the reality of learning a new industry. So I'm really happy where I am now. I'm hoping that I make it to a senior technical sales representative. So hopefully promotions coming soon. A girl can dream. And then I think down the line, I would like to do some more like B2B business work. So a lot of the customers that I handle right now, it's just direct clients. So it's an academic PI that I'm dealing with. So it could be some interest of mine in the future to deal with larger accounts where it's not necessarily just an individual lab basis. But these are, of course, just ideas. I don't know where the world or the wind will take me, but for now I'm very happy where I am and I'm looking forward to growing my territory. So it's kind of like operating your own little business when you have a defined territory. I've had the same territory for 3 years and it's planning to stay the same in 2026. So it's exciting to see it grow and I'm looking forward to sticking with that.
I'm so glad to hear that you're enjoying what you're doing, and it sounds
Yeah.
really fantastic. So, thank you so much for sharing with us and all of your amazing ideas and insights. So, just a big thank you for talking with me, Jenna. And for everyone listening, please remember to start your search and come see us at CALS Career Services. We would love to help you in your career search.
Yes. CALS is very connected. Remember that. Many companies are going to CALS to try and find students. So they're the people to reach out to.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I love the plug. That's amazing. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.